What up, YouTube? So today is going to be part 4 of the Honda Civic k20z1 BARD swap, and today is time to start going over the wiring to try to get this car to start up. So for some people who haven't messed really with the 0506, this will be a video for you guys because a lot of people from where I hear a lot of customers saying, oh, people, you can't use the 05 to 06 ECU. And if you watch my channel, most of my cars I've ran 05, 06. So a lot of questions I do get asked is can you run the stock ECU? And yeah, that's another thing. We are going to be running the immobilizer multiplexer bypass, and I don't know if they still have it on the website, but they even said that this was only for the 02 to 04, which actually it works for the 05, 06 as well. So if anyone was afraid to run this and wasn't going to be sure if it was going to run, this will clear the multiplexer for 05, 06 as well. Now, as far as the conversion harness, to let everybody know, I do use the hybrid racing, but it is modified. You do have to do a couple things. You have to put the inputs in from the evap system into it. It doesn't come with that. Luckily, it does come with the secondary O2 sensor, so that's cool. It does come with the DLC plug, but like I said, you do have to do some stuff. So we're gonna implement the multiplexer in there, and then other than that, it's just the communication wire, the actual multiplexer wire, and then a power and a ground. So it's very simple to install these if you're literally trying to go BARD, or if you're just trying to go budget and get the car running. So the other way is to get the key with ignition. Fortunately, this car, the original car, lost the key, so we had to go this way. Other than that, yeah, so this is an 02 to 04, so we will be repinning that to be an 05, 06 because the pinouts on the E-plug are different. So it is still capable, but there is some things you do have to repin, because really most people aftermarket only do this for 02 to 04 type setup. So this being 05, 06, it's just a couple of things you do have to swap over, but it isn't really nothing. It's really just speed sensor, RPM, the fuel, and then the evap stuff I have to pin in anyways. So that's one thing. The next thing I will be doing is getting the starter and the charge harness ready. So we need to get this extended over. One is going to go directly to the battery, and the other one will go to the fuse box that sits right here. Right now I still have it tucked in, so I'll bring that out as well. So we got those two main wires for the starter, and then when you do the conversion harness, that's how you get the signal for the starter signal. So that goes straight to the ignition and everything, so you'll be good. As far as this, so this is going to be going to the side of the driver. So it just plugs right into, it's kind of up there, so you can't really see it, but there's going to be two big plugs right there. This one's going to plug into that, and then this is going to plug into the ECU. I mean the stock Type S harness, and then this is going to plug into the ECU. And then the other two sides of the ECU, the wiring harness will go into the ECU, and that's pretty much it. But to get a complete start, we also have to add some grounds. So always have at least 2 or more grounds, and make sure you do have your ground on your engine harness on here tightened, or you will have issues. Other than that, I'm gonna start depinning this plug, and then I'm gonna go get the stock harness, cut it up, and start repinning into here. And then we're gonna get the K2 multiplexer, and then we can get to installing it and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and start knocking this out, and we'll come back and see what we're gonna do next. All right, so we're back now, and I went ahead and repinned the whole E-plug that I needed to do. So I added my evap wires in here, and then I added the immobilizer into it. So the one reason why I think they say you can't use 05, 06 because the communication wire is in a different spot, but other than that, I think it goes from 23 to 14, I believe, or 15. Yeah, so that's the only difference. But yeah, this is pretty much it. And then we'll just ground this black wire and then the yellow wire, and that'll give the power to it. and then we won't have to worry about the stock ECU not working, so that should turn that on. I also went ahead and put the new fuel wire into where its new spot, and then I got the speed sensor coming out, or tachometer, no, yeah, speed wire, and then the tach has been swapped over, so everything's pretty much ready. Like I said, I ran all the small wires, so I can plug this back together. So this one, a lot of people make a mistake on this, so let me get the detail on this. So these two sides, this is going to be your engine harness side. The side that's by itself, that's always the one, that's the E-plug. So your E-plug is always by itself. If you're running an automatic one, it will be to the smallest square one. So yeah, some people don't know that the E-plug can actually plug into the A port as well. And some people end up having to either call me or hit me up about it, and yeah, that's most likely could be a diagnostic. So anyway, so that's just the main part as far as the evap canister and everything, so that's good. And as far as starting it up, it should be okay. We'll finish up the wiring, but next thing we're going to get to, I just wanted to show you. So this is the long wire that comes from it, from Hybrid Racing. So this is going to plug into the little connector. I think it's the C101 too as well. And then right here we got the brake fluid, you got coolant temp, and then you got the fan switch. So we'll be wiring up the fan switch and the coolant. The coolant's going to go to a stock B series, D series sensor, and I'm going to tap it into here because we can't let that sensor go like we do on a regular swap. So we're gonna run this all the way around. We're not gonna run it this way. We're gonna do it all the way through this side, so it'll look cleaner and you won't be able to see it. So that's how I usually run this. You can run it this way too. I just think the less wiring, the more cleaner it'll look. Especially if you're going for, you know, a clean look on the swap. So other than that, yeah, this goes to the E-plug. This is gonna go to the ECU wiring, or the engine harness wiring. So I'm gonna go ahead and start plugging this in. And then this is just your relay from your O2 sensors. And then the O2 sensors, they're long enough to pretty much come back around and shoot to wherever you need right here. So that's where they'll go. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and start installing this, and then we'll come back and show you what we gotta do next. All right, so let's get up on here so I can show you guys what the plug is. So I'm gonna take this plug out right here. And it looks just like the one from the conversion harness, and then it just plugs up into there. I actually gotta push it in a little more before I try to start this thing up, so make sure it's on there good. But yeah, so this side is done. I ran the coolant temp and fan switch all over here. I'll show you what we have to do over here. So this is the charge light wire, so that's going to go to your stock ECU wiring harness B10. It's the same color, white with a blue stripe. And then these two, I just use the power for the immobilizer, and then this is the ground. I both T-tap both of those, and then I just use the other side of the connector from the ECU wiring harness to the actual ECU wiring, or the Type S harness. And then you got plug E and then the A and B plug. So that's done so far. And then we got our main 3 wires that come off the conversion harness, which is going to be green orange, which is MIL, green red, which is ELD, and then the green yellow, which is fuel. And then I just gotta shrink wrap those. That'll be good. Next thing, well, let me show you guys where I ran the coolant temp and fan. So they're gonna come out and follow the engine harness right here, and then the temp will be right here, and then I'll run the fan down in between here once I get the radiator mounted up. And that should be it as far as basically running the conversion harness itself. Next thing I need to start doing is start running a starter wire and my alternator wire that's going to be going to the fuse box. So I got to finish running my fuse box wires back out of here, clean it all up, and then we'll start running our wires to the fuse box and starter. And then let's see what else. One more thing we do have to do before actually getting this thing started is put our fuel line on. So after we do get that, we'll go ahead and knock that out, get the fuel line set up. And then I also got to go take the whole wiring harness for the evap so I can have that set up as well. So I want this to be a complete wiring video so I don't miss anything. Other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and start knocking out this starter and this alternator wire, and then we'll come back. All right, so we're back now, and we got our grounds on here. We got our fuel line connected. The tank is up right now, and we're gonna see. We got the Auxito on here. See if we can get this thing started up for the first try. Let me get this thing primed up real fast. So see how this thing. One more time, just in case. So, first time crank, first time start as usual. Now that we know that it runs, we're just waiting for some other parts to come in. We got our cat to come in, AC line, kit from Hybrid Racing, and then we can start pretty much putting everything back together, and should be ready to go for the state bar very soon. So, if you haven't, like, share, subscribe, comment, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys on the next video.